and I'll say that for a very solid reason, that the taxes now, the widening of the tax gap, and also increasing in some cases some of the taxes, is actually geared towards the person at the bottom. And the reason why it's geared towards the person at the bottom is that in the short term, it looks like it's chocking. And mind you, even the VAT that is going up from 8%, which is the fuel and other stuff, to 16%. This is to actually cover the loopholes of theft. People who are making a lot of money from their businesses and are paying a quarter of the taxes or none, because they're hiding either in the 8% and disguising they're no longer in the 16% bracket. So the only way to do this is by unifying the tax and make it 18% VAT to everybody.
Let me ask you a question in regards to that, because then we seem to have a different culture as people when it comes to paying taxes.
Exactly.
That then comes from a point of not trusting that the money is working for you.
And that is what is disturbing. I leave alone the angle of that the money is not working for you, because we have to get to a level where you have the money and then the money starts working for you.
Okay.
Excuse me, but we're talking about the bottom up economic model, and you want the people at the bottom. Do you know right now we have over 30 slums just in Nairobi alone? They're springing up every single day. For how long would we continue? Do we want to continue having slums spring up in every area? People living in the most disturbing conditions.
Okay.
And calling themselves Kenyans and struggling every single day to put food on the table.
Okay.
How do you get to this person? The only way to do so is by making sure that the people that can be taxed higher, you increase their taxes, and therefore you collect more money in revenue on tax. But the second thing is not just taxes alone, because all these things are going together as an entire policy for the Kenya Kwanza. There's the other side where you raise money from manufacturing. When you put up manufacturing in the country, we've had our industries close. When I was growing up, we had a lot of industries, Kenit, we had Rivertex and all those. And our parents never had to subscribe to bursaries.
Okay.
Right now, I see people running and dashing around and saying it's a privilege to give a bursary to a child. And I feel really, really sad for the people that have to get that.
Well,
so what I'm trying to say is that, first of all, we must build a base. And our base can only come in three ways. We collect taxes, we manufacture, sell locally enough food for ourselves and export the food so that we can get income on exports. And the third thing is that we do agriculture. We feed ourselves and we also export.
The risk of having this, however, to some extent, with different arguments.
I hear your question, yes. I know, I'm not trying to evade it. And so where you are coming to is, okay, we are in Kenya, we know the history, we know the status quo, the money will be stolen and it will not go back to the people. Remember, it's a new government. Let's give the new government an opportunity to see what they do. They have barely finished a year, So this is my point, that you digitize the systems as Kenya Kwanza is planning to do, which is this June. Most of the government entities should all be digitized. And make sure that actually these systems are working. And I saw the president when he was at KRA a couple of days ago, and he expressed his frustration, which all of us Kenyans have expressed in our own way in different forums, that there's a lot of sabotaging of the Kenyan system in all the institutions, that certain people have their fingers on hold of what they want to grab out of those institutions. And for that reason, they will frustrate whatever new system you try to bring in, just so that they can continue making money. The only system that succeeded going completely digital was the immigration and that was the visa section. That one is the only entity that actually collects money and collects its revenue fully. But the taxes, we're still a long way to go. One day the system is not working, the next day they're being given a new system, they're sabotaging it, they are all working behind. So we are...
digitization of the system is what you say.
Digitization of the systems is very important, and also discipline from the Kenyans. And I have a problem with most of us Kenyans. We are very good advocates of please stop corruption. But you as a Kenyan, you are the one who is quietly going to find somebody who can give you a deal behind closed doors so you can supply a tender. Start with yourself as an individual. What are you doing to contribute to the integrity of the services of this nation?
And I do believe that corruption is a major issue.
It is,
makes people even mistrust the government. But let me come back to the issue of taxes. She's saying we have to, expand the tax base. And this, in some extent, just makes is about increasing taxes to different, for different people. And when we come to the issue of raising taxes, even for businesses, she did raise an important point and say companies have closed before. Right now, with this,
we need to revive the companies.
With this, companies will close even more.
No.